am. What is good, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? Uh, we're back in Mitch Wayne's world, and I messed up my title, and that's okay. Hopefully, it updates just fine. I have to go to class in like 20 minutes, so I'm a little bit behind schedule. That's what happens when you're behind schedule. But instead of not streaming today, I'm trying to force myself to be consistent. 'Cause that's what life's about sometimes. Sometimes you just show up and you just do what you got to do because things happen. So we're going to watch one video, one good video, and then I'm going to go to class. And then I might stream later. I'm probably going to stream tomorrow morning. And then I'm going to make some videos. And then I'm going to keep doing it. So, with that being said, let me close out of all my pornography tabs. And let's pick a video. I think I want to watch. I have a lot of videos that are like 20 minutes. And I only have like 15, 20 minutes. And you know me, I'm a talkative guy sometimes. So I want to watch this one. They built a new city in Guatemala, and it's stunning. Walla Walla. It looks pretty cool. It looks old school but new. Me myself, I'm a little bit of an aesthetics and whatever nerd. I come from a family of luxury home builders, so I like a nice architecture, and I like a good piece of architecture. That was terrible. All right. Are we ready?
Plot, which is perched on a hill surrounded by steep cliffs.
You
might not believe it, but what you're seeing now is all completely new. That's right, all you see here is built in the last 12 years. Because they built a brand new city in Guatemala that is absolutely stunning. And they could change the way how we think about how we should build cities. The name of this city is Cayala. For this video I interviewed two of the architects who worked on this project and who have seen it go from dream to reality. The story of Cayala starts with a family who owns a beautiful plot of land in Guatemala City. The city had grown around this plot, which is perched on a hill surrounded by steep cliffs. But around the year 2000, the owners decided to use it to develop real estate. By chance, a young architect couple is connected to the family by their partner, landscape architect and town planner Mark Landers. They see an opportunity to create something truly great. Their names are Maria Sanchez and Pedro Godoy. They both went to the Notre Dame School of Architecture in South Bend, Indiana, the only architectural education that offers a fully traditional design curriculum.
The only school that was really doing something about it, it was Notre Dame.
And we found an amazing academy.
Notre Dame architecture, huh?
Their education gives them a unique view on cities and places. One focused on creating places that are harmonious, human-skilled and beautiful, and not only innovative or original. The plot of land asks for a special kind of master plan, and Maria...
Hold on, something important that was just said. Human scale and original. I always forget that Notre Dame is a school, and I always forget that Indiana is a state. Sorry, guys. My mom's actually from not far outside of Indiana. Not from Indiana, but she's from Chicago. Indiana. Where is... Oh, in South Bend. Okay, so we're right up by the Great Lakes. Sorry, I'm looking at where Notre Dame is in their School of Architecture. But something important that he just said was human scale and original. And a lot of people, there's this thing that happens when we live around these buildings that are ungodly large and all these huge skyscrapers and stuff. And if you live in a city that has a bunch of that, apartment buildings and it's pretty typical of American cities. Like you have like 8-story apartment buildings, 20, 30, 40-story office buildings. Some of them will be mixed use, and you have like one floor of retail and stuff like that. But what it does is it kind of feels alienating and a little bit depressing, because I don't know. Some people, I like it. It's like fun to look at from afar. Like if you look at like Tokyo from afar, it's really cool and dope looking, but it's not necessarily beautiful. I mean, I guess it depends. I think it looks really dope. I want to go experience it for myself on in person, but the human scale thing is important. Look at the mountains in the backdrop, the Spanish architecture. That right there is beautiful, son.
Pedro know exactly which urban planner could be perfect for this project. Leon Creer. Creer is not your ordinary urban planner.
No,
he
he's
believes
not.
in places that prioritize human skill over the dominance of skyscrapers and cars.
Yes.
And promotes an urbanism that fosters community instead of causing social isolation. He also promotes architectural harmony and the use of traditional design over chaotic, haphazard construction, which we see everywhere nowadays.
See, this is a little bit more interesting and appealing to my eye personally, and that's the thing with aesthetics, right? It's all kind of art really, or beauty really is in the eye of the beholder. Stuff like this, it's okay. Stuff like these two, though, just very lifeless, you know? It's like, you know, New York City, it's one of the coolest places to be, but also sometimes it's just so, the humanity just feels like a little bit stripped from the people that live there for too long. Some people can handle it. Some people could do it for a whole lifetime, especially people who like are from there or just are that kind of person. But it just is kind of, I don't know. It's a little dirty, you know. Me, I'm a fan of the suburbs. I got to be honest. I live in the city currently, but I like space. Space is good. I'm an American kid, man.
He is also well known for being a critic of modernist theories of urban planning and architecture. He makes these drawings that visualize these criticisms really well. They're quite entertaining. I can highly recommend his book, The Architecture of Community. Around the year 2002, the architect couple, who has started their firm Estudio Urbano, approaches Creer. They are not sure how he will react, but they are pleasantly surprised, because Creer accepts the challenge immediately.
Wait, what was it
before
called?
the involvement of Creer in Estudio Community. Around the year 2000, criticisms really well. They're quite entertaining. I can highly recommend his book, The Architecture of Community. Guatemala has some tough problems with crime. Many parts of the city are not safe to just walk around in, so many who can afford it choose for the safety of a walled enclave with security. But the concept of a walled city is not compatible with the vision of Leon Creer and that of Estudio Urbano. They have a plan that is far bolder.
The concept was to bring the Christian city that comes from the Persian, Greek, Roman city. So it is an open city. That was an issue at the beginning because the advice for the family from security was to enclose the city. But that was completely the opposite thing that we wanted to do. And why to close it if we have Antigua Guatemala that is 45 minutes from Guatemala City and is an open city? So that was the first big step that was an asset for the whole development.
The support of the family is...
Me personally, even though I said I'm a suburban kid, not a big fan of the gated community. It honestly, to me, the thing about a gated community, obviously behind it, there's usually very nice homes. And, you know, it's a fun little paradise. But I think that kind of is just part of the problem. You can only build so many walls and build so many, you know, whatever. And it kind of just creates like a, hey, we don't want you in here. We don't like you. And it kind of creates like a tension that didn't need to be created if you, again, properly design a city like they're talking about.
Not yet secured. They need to
That's
convince
just my
them
opinion,
that
though.
their plan will work.
And so we convinced them as a first step to do this charrette, to have a really clear vision of the potential of the land.
Of course, on that moment, everything was just ideas. We were breaking all the rules.
All of these concepts that Leon Creer presented, I think made sense to them, at least to consider them.
The plan is as follows. Small urban blocks with building heights of 3 to 4 stories are combined with a network of pedestrian streets and boulevards and
Yes.
welcoming public spaces. The
Yes,
city is designed
dude, I
to
will
look
move
coherent
there.
and harmonious. The buildings do not
They even have a
individually
Starbucks. You know that they have some beautiful... Never mind.
scream for attention, but they blend in and respect the whole. It is a mixed-use plan with apartments, shops, restaurants and office space. The plan
Dude,
even
this
has a
is
church,
dope.
civic buildings and beautiful public spaces where people can meet.
I'm
In
looking this
Cayala,
up.
they did something else that is unique for Guatemala. The car is only welcomed as a guest. Because the land is owned by the family and not by the municipality, the designers had more freedom and could show how they made traffic slowing possible with almost no traffic signs and without the use of curbs and asphalt, which is standard, or things like speed bumps. Instead, the
Dude, I don't know if you could do that in the US. People just drive so damn crazy and act so ridiculous. I've never been to Guatemala, but I've been to Mexico, and I haven't been to Ciudad Mexico, but I've been to other foreign countries where people drive pretty insane. So no curbs. I mean, just imagine no curbs in any American city that you live in. That sounds so scary, dude. That's something. All right. Here we go.
Streets force cars to slow down to take pedestrians into account. It was a huge bet, but it worked. Directly from the beginning, the pedestrians naturally took over the streets.
Good.
Another unique thing about Cayala is, of course, its architecture. You will not find...
This is another thing I want to say. And I don't want to alienate people, but sometimes you got to alienate some people in order to make it to space. You got to crack an egg to make an omelet. I need to go soon, but cyclists... I understand the frustration in the U.S. and a lot of big cities. We don't have proper bike lanes. We don't have proper infrastructure for cyclists. But also, fuck off. Cyclists are so... they just take over. If you're in a car, they make your life harder. If you're a pedestrian, they make your life harder. Like, I get it, dude. It's eco-friendly. It's efficient. It's fast. It's fun. But also fuck off.
Modernist glass and concrete boxes here, or other generic buildings that you can find anywhere on Earth. In Cayala, they fully embraced the local cultural identity.
Oh,
When you
that's
walk
so
the streets,
beautiful.
you feel like you are in Guatemala, not in Tokyo, or in Amsterdam, or Houston, Texas. To achieve this,
Whoa,
they took
bro.
inspiration from...
You chill out with the Texas slander, even though that's 100% true. All of our big cities just have like a similar feel. I mean, they're distinct, and I love the cities in Texas, but you know, you go to another city worldwide, and you kind of are just like, oh, this kind of feels the same. This is some older stuff in this city. This place looks beautiful.
The rich building traditions that can be found in Guatemala. Architecture is a bit like a
Maybe
language.
I'm just becoming
and
an old
here the
man.
architects learned and used the architectural vocabulary of the country to create new sentences.
We are using the usual methods of construction of Guatemala, but they are done with a traditional language that gives a continuity of the buildings one next to the other. You can really read the facades that are doing a coherent frame to the streets.
Multiple styles and elements that played a
por
role
eso
in
me
Guatemala
dice
were
chévere,
adapted
chévere.
to the 21st century and integrated. Art Deco, Classicism, Spanish colonial but also the Mayan heritage of Guatemala are all represented. The Azaria Pavilion, for example, designed by Richard Economakis, has capitals with corn cobs. This refers to the Popol Vuh, an ancient Mayan text, which describes the Mayan creation story in which humans are made out of maize. It is just a wonderful
I
example
did not
of
know
how
that.
architecture can be sensitive and respectful of place, and it is clearly appreciated. The building steps are a very popular place to hang out, and I've seen many people take photos and selfies there. No one seems to care that classicism is used. The people just enjoy the quality and the beauty of the place. But perhaps the nicest thing about Cayala are its details. The stone moldings and frames, the wooden balconies and decorative wrought iron fences and railings, they all give the plan an authentic charm. Finally, the plan is adapted to the local hot climate, with traditional clay roof tiles keeping out the tropical rains, and the colonnades and arcades that offer some protection from the scorching sun. It might sound too good to be true, but in 2009 the master plan is launched, and construction begins.
We were really nervous about that because it was the first phase. If it worked, they will follow. If not, that's it.
The open city center, Paseo Cayala, opens in sections. Parts are inaugurated in 2011, 2012 and 2017. But now it is completed, it doesn't feel new. It feels as if it has always been there.
But what was very interesting
Well, that's
is in the
good
first
development.
phase, we did like 500 meters in which we have a civic building, shops, office spaces, apartments. So from the day one, all the concept was there. in the inauguration, it looked like it was there for so many years before. It was a complete picture of what was going to happen. But also in the process, because this was like a new language, a new way of doing urbanism and architecture, people were confused. They didn't really understand it. It was a shopping center and it was open. You can walk in the streets. So it really was.
That's how stripped of our humanity we are. She's like, people were confused that you can just shop and walk around and be in a beautiful place and enjoy yourself and not, feel like you're going to get robbed or run over. That's surprising to people now.
Making a statement from day one.
So how did they finance this plan? Wasn't it far too expensive? And didn't they lose money on all the ornament and the beauty? Well, not exactly. First of all, the family that owned the land had a long-term stake in the plan. They didn't just want to earn a quick buck. Instead, they cared about leaving a legacy. And they understood that they could achieve this by doing something valuable for the city and its communities. The family understood that seeing real estate and development only through the lens of an Excel sheet and selling the land and real estate as soon as they possibly could would not be in their own best interest. They came to see that if they would create true value, a place where people would want to be, they would be the founders of a wonderful, popular new city. It turned out to be the right approach. Because the plan is so attractive, people from all over the city come to visit. This led to blossoming retail and increased value for the land and the property. It became so successful even.
I want to go to Guatemala and visit this city, honestly. I want to travel all through Central and South America, and now this place is 100% on my list.
Nearby Cayala, now market their property in minutes of distance from Cayala. There's even a word for it, the Cayala effect. Many people seem to have a knee-jerk reaction when they are confronted with the option to build something beautiful. They only think about the possibility that it might be too expensive. But each beautiful project that has been built is proof that it is possible, and very often quite profitable as well. Finally, we seem to think today that monetary value is the only type of value. But real value takes much more into account, like safety, livability and beauty. And real value, in turn, can lead to monetary value. They don't exclude each other, rather they go hand in hand.
It's going to be hard to
It
do
didn't
in
take long
America.
before a number of journalists started attacking Cayala in a number of hit pieces. In the articles they wrote, they claimed that Cayala was...
Oh my god. You can't build anything nice without people trying to be like, there's a lot of privilege here. There's a lot of people with money, and I don't understand why we won't let, whatever. And it's like, bro, just let something be beautiful. It's not like they're fucking excluding people. And you know what? Like, it gives certain people, let's say you grow up in a not nice part, 30 minutes away from Cayala, and you go there once because of, I don't know, something random. And you're like, whoa, this is beautiful. I didn't know that this was in my city. I like this. I want to be around this. And then it gives you something to aspire to. We got to stop with all the oh my god, cancel this nice thing.
Was nothing but an exclusive, closed-off resort for the rich, surrounded by gates with armed men guarding it. Well, I was there, and I can assure you that the center of Cayala is indeed open. I didn't see any men with machine guns, and I didn't only see wealthy people. What I did see, however, were some residential parts that were closed off. And I did see some security. As crime rates are still problematic, this is unfortunately the norm for more luxurious real estate in Guatemala. In the best...
Hold on. This is the norm for real estate everywhere, all the time. You build something nice, you protect it. I don't know, having security and having some walls, it's the idea that having a fence around your house is somehow like racist or something. It's no, I just want to have sex in my backyard, honestly. Look at me. I want to have sex in my backyard, and I don't want other people to watch it. That's it. That's all. Carry on.
In this case, someday these gates will not be necessary anymore. Also, most of the apartments are indeed very expensive. It is, after all, premium real estate. So, is Cayala really only for the rich? And does the lack of affordable housing invalidate the entire concept? Well, when I visited, I observed something remarkable. Every day as the sun set, the streets filled up with a diverse crowd, with people from all different ages and backgrounds. If Cayala was really only for millionaires, then there sure must be a lot of millionaires in Guatemala. Jokes.
Watch, this is gonna be the next thing. It's like it's not diverse enough. It's only Guatemalan people there. Like, yeah, no shit.
Aside, I didn't have the impression for a moment that this was a place that tried to be a closed-off resort for only one type of people. Instead, I saw how a variety of people enjoyed the spaces together, even though not everyone could afford a house there. The city center actually functions as one. It is a public space for everyone and attractive enough to actually visit. People just do some window shopping, get an ice cream, explore the intimate streets, or sit on the steps of the Azaria Pavilion to watch the sunset behind the volcanoes. There is enough to do without spending a penny, because it is a nice place to be, and that is incredibly valuable. Not just financially.
Hold on, that's an important thing. There's enough to do without spending a penny because it's a nice place to be. And there are many places that are nice places to be that people who cannot necessarily afford to live there also go there and enjoy. And that is an important part of developing real estate and just cultivating a great place to live.
But psychologically and emotionally too.
We are a multicultural country, and to see everybody gather in the same space, because public spaces are for gathering. And even if we have different philosophies of life or different ways of thinking, if you act in a very civilized manner, you can be together and you can share the same space. That is the purpose of cities.
I believe that what was done in Cayala
Yes, it
can be
is.
a lesson to many. It shows how striving for beauty, harmony and community in an urban design leads to a win-win situation for the developer and, most importantly, for the people. It teaches us that people vote with their feet, even when they have little to spend. People just want to be in nice places. If you build those for them, they will come. But although creating places like Cayala might look simple, it is not easy. We need more architects and planners who are trained to create beautiful, livable places with architecture that is respectful, harmonious and rooted in local culture. Happily, there is a university like the School of Architecture in Notre Dame, but there are also more and more summer schools that teach this way of planning, like the one in Utrecht this summer by INPAO, or the one in Belgium, organized by La Table Ronde d'Architecture. There's a great one in Spain too, and one by Create Streets in Britain. Until universities in Europe, Asia, even Africa start taking these skills serious again and shift their focus from frivolous concepts to the creation of actually pleasant places, there are little other options than these summer schools. But more on that in a future video. Finally, building beauty doesn't have to exclude people of lower income. As long as the public spaces
Just
are made
taking
accessible
pictures
to
of
all,
people?
everyone can profit. And
That's kind of messed up. Doesn't have to exclude people of lower income. Ching, ching. Hey, are you low income? Ching. I have to go like right now, but just some finishing notes on Cayala. Entonces me encanta Cayala, pero no, I'm not gonna do it all in Spanish. But I love that city. I want to go to that city. Developing real estate like that is a gamble because, like you were saying, profitability kind of can super get in the way, and you can either only cater to the rich or try to pack as many people in as possible. Where I live, the kind of the culture of the surrounding area has been deadened a little bit because a lot of like restaurants and spaces for retail have been replaced by these 8-10 story apartment buildings that are cool looking, and people need places to live. I'm a big fan of building more housing, but instead of just again packing as many people in as possible and just trying to get as much money and squeeze it as quick as possible, it's important to consider the long-term implications. Like, I currently live pretty close to a popular running trail, and there's a really nice new building being built, and there's only a few different units for sale, like condos pretty much, but within that, the condos are extremely expensive. Most people can never afford them. But they're also building a little park around it, and they're building a couple different restaurants within it, and it adds to the landscape, because what was there before was a couple pretty rundown, like one old rundown, I don't even know when the last time someone lived there, and it's in a very prominent part of the city. And sadly enough, it became a hub for people to go and do drugs and get fucked up. And it's right next to a running trail where lots of young women run. And I don't know about you, but, you know, a bunch of addicts who are erratic addicts. That's actually a band that I used to be a part of, the Erratic Addicts. But a bunch of erratic addicts being around a bunch of young, pretty women who are trying to exercise typically doesn't go well. And so you'll have some crazy stuff like assaults and things like that happening, and just no good. I'm a big fan of Guyala, and like I said, I want to go visit at some point. I'm planning on doing a bunch of traveling next year, so, you know, I'm a fan. And to people who want to bitch and moan about it and complain, everyone's going to bitch and moan and complain about something all the time, forever, everything that you do. So that's that. The name's Mitch Wayne, and architecture and real estate is the game, you know? Shit. I have to go to class. I'm late as fuck, but have a beautiful day. Mwah.